Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Dinkar and I welcome you all in this session. I hope everybody is doing great, feeling healthy and fine. Good to see you again on this Monday's evening at 6 p.m. As you all know that on every Monday at 6 p.m. we do our Basics of Economy lecture, and we have successfully completed 25 lecture under this series. And you can go and check in the playlist. These are very fruitful lecture and very basic in nature, so there is no technicalities that you should have to go through. Okay, you just have to sit down and you have to just listen to the lecture, and automatically the basic things related to anything related to economy will come to you, and you will be able to understand if any topic comes, so what all things you have to remember regarding that topic. Okay, after that you can elaborate on any of the things. Okay, but because most of the students tell me, sir, whenever any question comes, I cannot remember the answer, I cannot recall the point. See, recalling can only happen when you have exact proper points in your mind. Okay, if you have a points, you can easily elaborate it. Okay, so first of all, you should make sure that under what topic, what type of question are being asked. Okay, and if I wanted to answer this question, what all I have to remember under that. Okay, after that you can easily elaborate on that. Okay, so once again, welcome you all in this session, and let me see how many people are there. Hello Ajay Arora, hello, welcome to the session. Great to see you, man, in this evening. Is anybody else there? They can also just give their introduction, and after that we can start with our session. Is anybody else there in the session? I can see many people are there. You can give your introduction so that in the middle of the lecture I can uh, just address you by your names if you wanted. Okay, uh, fine. So let's start with our session, and we will be just seeing like what has happened like since 2 decades of economic reforms. So we will be discussing what has previously was there. Hello Lalit, welcome to the session. Great to see you, man. Okay, so very basic in nature this lecture. Okay, we will be touching upon various important aspects related to economy, how they are doing, how they are performing, and just not more than that. Okay, so normally this is not 2 decades, actually it has to be 3 decades, so please make sure that we will be talking about till now. Okay, since 1991 I think it's 3 decades, right? So we will be looking forward for 3 decades. Okay, now, so 1991 was the beginning of a new economic reforms. Okay, new economic reform that was also forcefully being done by us, because we are in no position to negotiate with anyone. Okay, before 1991 reforms were like piece of food. Okay, it is just like that. Okay, if problem is there, okay, change that. If problem is here, change that. But there was not no overhaul change in the plan. Okay, it is just like a piece of food. You can see that like a piece of a like a bite, like reform that are going on. Okay, so the things were totally micro oriented. Okay, they are not looking for a macroeconomic perspective, they are just moving towards that micro perspective, and slowly, okay, here things are not coming properly. Okay, just try to increase it over here. Okay, they are not looking into a larger view or a larger picture of that. Okay, the reforms are mainly initiated by BOP crisis, that is balance of payment crisis, that we have got in 1991. Okay, because of that, India has to pledge their gold to secure the loans. Okay, nobody wanted to give loans to India because India was at that time a close to a closed economy. So there is no aspect of a open economy in India. So the Indian economy, you can call it as a closed economy, and we are only dealing with the things which we are not having in our country. Rest everything is closed in our economy. Okay, so if you really wanted the loan from outside for any crisis, you have to give something as collateral, so we have to pledge our gold to secure the loan from outside. Okay, so that was a totally a humiliating situation for all of us. Okay, then first generation reforms were like earlier, like what was happened before 1991. They were totally central government directed. Okay, before 1991, central government gives direction, do this, do that. Okay, do not do this, do not do that. Okay, then whatever, whenever something happens, it is just addressing, we are addressing the crisis only. Okay, and there is a huge structural rigidity. Okay, that means nothing can change until and unless we need total overhaul in the process. There is total structural rigidity was there. Okay, and there is no proper clarity on industrial policy thinking. So we don't know exactly what exactly we are expecting from industry, whether we just have to fulfill the basic need, or we wanted the growth, or we wanted to increase the employment, or we wanted to compete with the outside world. There is no clarity on that. Okay, there was no clarity on that. Okay, and even there is no proper development of the financial sector, because insurance sector, banking sector, all these things are totally regulated by total government, and there is a total government control over all these things. So these are the first generation reforms that were there. After that, we have a second generation reforms were there. So here we have required state government involvement was there. Then we have to have a need broad level consensus that should happen between the political parties. So we have to discuss with the political parties, talk with these people. Okay, then we need proper amendment of the constitution. If we need a huge change, like in the GST, we have to do that. Okay, when we wanted to bring the GST, we have to change in bring a change in the constitution. Okay, so the main distinction that lies between these two reforms, that is first generation reforms and the second generation reform, lies in the priority and the ability to implement and deliver these. So here we are just in the first generation and second generation, there is a total distinction of priority only, which things we are giving more priority. That is the main thing that we are looking at that time. Okay, so second generation So, second generation reform requires involvement of the state and all these things that we have done. Okay, now we are going to do the review of the economic reform. How the things have performed. Okay, so first of all, industrial sector reform has taken. Policy of 1991 is also known as policy of liberalization, or we can call it as LPG reforms also: liberalization, privatization, and globalization. Okay, so what we have done over here is we have dismantled the licensing system. Earlier, we require the license for each and everything. Okay, if you wanted to open any factory or anything, or even normal factory which doesn't cause any kind of damage to the society or environment, or that doesn't have any potential huge impact, for that also you require a license. Then we have included a larger role of private sector. Public private sector competition was we have started. Okay, so that the government companies can compete with these people. Okay, we have got a good industrial growth and economic development, and there was a good greater autonomy the industries have got, and industry have also got a good amount of flexibility on their work. Okay, so this was that happens in the industrial sector area. Okay, after that, we move on to our licensing system. What was about the industrial licensing? So licensing system was abolished except in few sectors, because it is necessary that some places are there where license is required, and it has to be required because nobody else has to open these factories and all those things. Then non-polluting industries can be located close to cities. So earlier all the industries were asked to be located outside the cities, but now there was a like a freedom that has been given, that the non-polluting industries you can locate it inside the city also, or nearby the city also. Okay, various threshold limits, like you can only invest this much, you can invest that much, and you can only produce this much, that much, that has been abolished. Okay, monopolistic, restrictive and trade practices, okay, MRTP. Then pre-approval of few of the things were there earlier. Now pre-approval of the things were not mandatory, okay. Competition Act came into focus, okay. Now we are focusing on Competition Act that focuses on increasing the competition, and it only checks the monopolistic behavior, or it looks for mergers. Like if the mergers are happening, like if any company who is doing merger with any other, whether they are going to be monopolistic in the near future or not. So only the Competition Act now focuses on that. Nobody should get a monopolistic competition. Nobody should get monopolistic over their own working condition. Only that much Competition Act check. Rest everything is free, and freedom, flexibility you are getting. Okay. Anybody wanted to ask anything till now? Anybody wanted to ask anything till now? Please let me know in the chat box. Okay, so now what happens with the FDI? Earlier there was a total, like as you can say, like before 1991, FDI you can say that it's not even there. Okay, only in few the word FDI was not even listened before 1991. So slowly FDI has started. Government has given the passage to the foreign direct investment. Okay, automatic approval have been started right now, except in few strategic sector where you have to take too much of permission from the government, because that are very important for the country's security only. Okay, then there was a like a institution, Foreign Investment Promotion Board constitution, to look for FDI, scrutinize the application for FDI in various sectors. Foreign technologies approval for technology agreement provided fund by the equity infusion. So all these things have been liberalized. They have been made open to the outside world. Okay, people can come with the FDI, people can come with the foreign technology, they can invest in India, they can work in India, and they can have their own companies in India. Right now, if you can see here, everywhere you can see many foreign companies. Even Apple have also started their manufacturing in India. Foxconn is there, right? Foxconn is the major ally of an Apple company, right? We have many companies who, like JCB right now. JCB factory is there in India for export right now. If you are reading the newspaper just now, the British Prime Minister has come to India and he has visited the JCB factory. Okay, so you can see that too much of like FDI, foreign direct investment is coming, foreign technologies are coming, we are utilizing, we are transporting, we are exporting to the other countries also, right? So after 1991, this has got a major boost. This area has got a major boost. Okay, so automatic approval with varying participation rate, except in few sector. RBI need to be notified just 30 days in advance to bring the funds in the FDI category. Okay, now what about the public sector? Like public sector, we normally call as public sector undertakings, PSUs, okay, or central public sector undertakings, CPSUs. Okay, so public sector disinvestment policy was adopted. Like that means government will remove their own control over the companies, and slowly they will privatize these company. Okay, so disinvestment is going on right now. Government is focusing on many sectors like Bharat Petroleum, even LIC. They are looking for disinvestment, right? For even IPO will be also coming in the month of May for LIC, right? Sick industries were referred for reconstruction. Okay, those countries who have totally gone sick and they are not even able to catch up with the market, so they have been reconstructed. Okay, key focus only on the strategic and high tech sector where monopoly has to be kept. Okay, earlier government is controlling total 18 sector. Okay, that are very strategic in nature. Then government has reduced it to 5. Right now government is holding only 3 sector which are under there. It is like a nuclear power and all these things are there which are under the control of government only, and it has to be under the control of government. It should not go into the private control also. Okay, then public sector company can now go for joint ventures also under the public private partnership. As you all know that we have many models of PPP. Okay, so they can go for public private partnerships also. So right now if you can see, the government is promoting all the way everywhere in whatever way they wanted help. Government is providing this help to these peoples. Okay, now why industrial growth was low in last 5 years. Okay, first of all, there was a global slowdown that has happened. Okay, global slowdown, you can call it as in the form of, like, you can say COVID-19 was also there and everything was there, and even there was a too much of a policy shift is going on. And India, what was happening is, earlier before 2016, the monetization came, right? All of a sudden the cash has been removed, so because of that industries got slowed down. But when the industries got recovered from demonetization, all of a sudden 2017 we have GST that came. So because of that, again company has to shift to the total new tax basis. So because of that, again the company have gone into the slowdown during the implementation of the GST. Okay, so corporate sector had been too leveraged during the last few years. There was a high interest rate was there, rising non-performing assets are there. There was a lack of proper growth in agriculture. But during our COVID-19 times, agriculture is only the sector which has grown by 3.4%. Rest all the sector have contracted very below. Okay, only agriculture sector has shown a growth. Okay, then steel sector, which is a major portion, which steel sector contributes the major production contribution in the index of industrial production. Steel sector has a big percentage. Okay, so it based on like whether your industries are running or not running, steel sector tells about that. Okay, if the production of steel is high, that means there is a good amount of economic growth that is happening. And if the production of steel is less, then means the economy is not in that much good category. Okay, so and there was a huge competition from China also, because China is also producing, like we always have a competition with China, and China, as you all know, that is a bulkiest economy. Okay, so we are trying to reach $5 trillion. China is already at around, I think it's $10 trillion. Not more than 10 trillion it is. Okay, so our economy is, like you can say, one third of China. Okay, so when you have such a big player in the market, it is very difficult to match the competition. But still we can match the competition in the various strategic sector. Okay, right now semiconductor shortage is going on, as you all know that semiconductor shortage is going on. So the semiconductor shortage and lithium, you know, lithium, guys, lithium is used for batteries and everything, and construction of all these things. So under these things, China has a monopoly over these two things, and China controls the production of all these two things. Okay, if China controls it, that means the future of electrical vehicle and everything is under the hand of China only right now. Okay, so because we can produce various other things, but semiconductor we import from outside. Even lithium we import from outside. Okay, so it is necessary for us to become independent of as much as independent from China as we can, because if we really wanted to compete with China, we have to reduce the dependency on China, right? Now, financial sector reform. So what are the financial sector reform that has been taken place? Okay, so financial sector reforms are mainly driven by our Narasimhan committee. Okay, so they have given various things regarding like what banking industry has to do, what all the reforms we have to do, and how we have to make sure that our bank remains too much competitive and everything. Okay, so this Narsimha committee has given their reports, and you can see many brainy people on the left hand sorry right hand side of my slides, so you can enjoy that. Hello Abhishek, welcome to the session. Okay, so what Narsimha committee has said that please provide the liberal entry of private banks. Okay, until and unless there are the private banks, there will be no competition. If there will be no competition, the government will work as the same as they were working earlier. But once you open the private banks, so they have a forcefully they have to compete with these people. Okay, so we have to allow the liberal entry of private banks. So if you can see that in the last 20 years, 30 years, there was a too many private banks are coming. SDFC, ICICI Bank, as you can see that our ICICI and even HDFC have been declared as systematically important bank, domestically systematically important bank. That means if something happens to this bank, government has to come and protect these banks, right? So these are the two private banks are there, right? So then, and the third one is SBI, that is a totally government controlled bank, right? So then public sector bank should be given more autonomy. It should not be totally controlled by the proper. So the government banks or public sector banks has to be given more autonomy. Okay, then interest rate, deposit rate, advances were deregulated. Okay, so earlier the interest rate, deposit rate, and various other things are being controlled by a central authority, but now they have been deregulated. Now it has to be based on the market, how the market is going on, whether we wanted to increase the interest rate, whether we wanted to decrease the interest rate. Okay, so banks were free to decide interest rate and can be more competitive. Okay, when the bank decide the interest rate, they become more and more competitive because they will compete with their counterparts. Okay, then banking was made more transparent. We have to make sure that banking should become more transparent, and we have to make sure that stress was given for full disclosure of good and bad assets, because earlier the banks were not telling about the bad assets. Okay, so these bad assets only became the NPAs. Okay, because they take the loans without any collaterals, and if they have any kind of contact or any kind of thing. So if you have seen that most of the NPAs belongs to the public sector banks only. Okay, because they do not properly disclose, right? Then we have given a uniform definition of NPA also, where in 90 days you can declare that as an NPA, and banks were asked to adhere to the capital adequacy ratio. That means whether you have a proper cushion if you have got any kind of NPA, like if you are losing some amount of money, it doesn't mean that you should totally fail. That means you should have that much of money that you can come back. Okay, so banks were asked to make sure that capital adequacy ratio or capital adequacy norms has to be fulfilled. Right now, what are the tax reform that has been done under this series? Government has done various tax reforms. First, government has moved to value added tax. From a conversion of sales tax regime into the homogenized state value added tax, and now implementation of the GST from 1st July 2017, and this is one of the biggest achievement of the government to achieve a GST. And right now GST is giving huge revenues to the government. In the last month only, I think 1.4 lakh crore of rupees of GST collection government has received, and which is really a good number. And the process is also streamlined. The process is also streamlined, and it has removed cascading effect. How they have removed the cascading effect? By the process of IPC, that is ITC, sorry, input tax credit system, and harmonized tax rates are there: 5%, 12%, 18%, and 28%. Okay, So 28% is mainly for our highly luxurious items. Okay. So right now, GST Council meeting is there. For there they are going to, right now today I was reading in the newspaper in the Financial Express that they are looking for increasing the like tax rate of beverages and all these snacks and everything to 28% because they wanted to put it in the luxury category. That means if a person can buy a cold drink, that means that person belongs to some of the good category person, so that can be taxed out for 28%. That means if that bottle of a cold drink is 100 rupees, that means you have to pay 128 rupees tax government will get. Okay, so in the next GST Council meeting on that, these things will be decided. Okay, so it is like a very formal process where every state's representative sits and they decide on various other things. So this is also see as a very good economic reform that has happened since the 3 decades, since we are discussing about the 3 decades. So this is a very good things that government has achieved. Okay, now trade sector reform, trade like our economy outside world, like how we are transferring like our import and export and all these things. Okay, so what are the trade sector reforms? So we have opened our economy because that was our, that forcefully we have been asked to do, because under the LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization. So this is called liberalization and globalization. Okay, we have to open our economy for a foreign investment. Foreign investment can go in, foreign companies can sell their products, you can sell products to the foreign companies. FERA has been removed and FEMA has come. Okay, so under the FERA, if you do any offense, it was of criminal one, then then it has been removed to FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act, which come under the civil offense. Okay, so for that you have to go for civil court. Okay, earlier it was a criminal offense if you do any issue. So this is a very good move where you have removed that criminal part and you have made it as a civil offense. Okay, FERA to FEMA. Okay, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act to Foreign Exchange Management Act. Okay, so here you just have to pay penalties for whatever you have done and then you are out. Okay, then liberalization of foreign investment policy was there, help in increasing the export. Just now we have read in the newspaper that India has achieved $400 billion of export has been recorded, which is a very good number, and it also shows that make in India is working. Make in India is working. That is why we are getting that $400 billion of export, right? So good going. Now, where economic reforms has not delivered, which all places? See, everything cannot be so bright. There are various places. See, everything has some kind of good things, some kind of bad things. Okay, so good things we enjoy, bad things we try to improve it. Right, so first one is growth is there from past, but in relation to other economies it has been uneven, and also it is not inclusive. So we have seen that growth is there and India economy has grown leap forward, right, but it has not remained inclusive. Still too many poors are there. Poverty is very high over there in our country, so there is a total imbalance is there. Okay, then proper employment generation is not there. We are still looking for like which all places where we can go for employment. Even employment in manufacturing sector has remained stagnant throughout the time. Okay, we are still looking for at least 25% of the GDP should come from the manufacturing, but still we are not reaching to that level, because from agriculture we have directly moved into the service sector, right? So manufacturing sector is still lagging behind, and it is we have to make sure that that's why we are asking the companies outside the world to invest in India, sell in India, make in India, and also export to the other places. Okay, right now we have given this offer to the Tesla also. Tesla electrical vehicle. For that, our road and transport minister, road, highway and transport minister Nitin Gadkari ji, he has asked the Tesla CEO, our Elon Musk, that you come to India, we will provide you with everything. You make in India, sell it in India, or export it outside. Okay. Then, because we wanted to generate employment, if the company will need people to work. So this is how the employment will be generated. Once more and more investment will come, more and more companies will be made, more and more manufacturing units will be there, they will be requiring more and more people to work. So from where they will get? They will get it from India only, right? Because India labors are very competitive throughout the world. Even right now, the labor cost at China is also increasing. That is why most of the companies are moving towards India for their investment, because here the labor cost is still very less. So so the profitability of the company remains high, right? Then interstate and intrastate inequalities are there. If you going to go to UP, Bihar, and Jharkhand, you can see that these are still under like they are not that much developed, and most other states have gone developed and everything has got. Okay. You can see many labor everywhere. Wherever you go into the big cities in our India, the labor over there will be of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, and all these places. Okay. Because they are not getting proper employment at their own places, so there is a huge inter-regional inequalities are there. Okay. No proper labor reforms has happened. Less importance was given to privatization, but now it is improving. Now it is improving. Okay. And banking sector reforms has happened, but still they are not competitive, because they cannot they not competitive enough, because due to extra load given by the government work. How the government? Because government is running all their schemes through the public sector banks, right? So they are having an extra load of providing government subsidies, running government schemes and everything. So that is why our public sector banks are not able to properly compete with the private sector banks. So these are some of the area where economic reforms has not delivered. Okay. Now, insurance sector does not have proper penetration. Insurance sector has developed a very high, but it does not have proper penetration in various places. Even in the rural area, we cannot see that insurance have reached. People don't know what the insurance is all about. Okay, only in the cities area this is more active, and we can see even right now if you open wherever, automatically they will say take term loan, car loan, this loan, that loan. But whenever you go to the village area, there is no word like insurance at all. Okay. Then FDI policies is still not that much effective, and various roadblocks are there. So people come with various plans from outside, but you are required too much permissions. Too much permissions are required. Environmental clearance, land clearance, and agriculture clearance, and everything you require. So that is why the roadblocks are many. Okay, many roadblocks are there. What are the contemporary changes in the policy that has happened? Okay, so national manufacturing policy has come. Right now, India has got a tag of second fastest growing economy of the world. We have various industrial policy resolution. In 1948 we have done our industrial policy review. After 1956 we have done. In 1991 we have totally overhauled that process. Okay, so because of that we have given the stronger base to industrial development. Okay, it is not like that we are simply sitting, we are doing various other things. Okay, so this is like that. Now, so here you can see that what are the objective of National Manufacturing Policy 2011. Manufacturing sector, we have to make sure that at least 12 to 14% of the medium term enabling, and at least 25% of the national GDP should come from manufacturing by 2022. Okay, then sustainability of the growth has to be there. Growth, particularly we have to make sure that the growth should be in tandem with the environment. It should not like we should destroy the total environment, and we are looking, okay, we got this much of growth, but we have totally destroyed the environment. Now you invest that money in the environment. Okay, it should not like that. Okay, then skill set has to be created, because every day the things are changing, technologies are changing, everything are changing. So based on that, education system, college system, school system has to also overhaul. The people have to be more skilled enough. They should be industry ready. The people should be industry ready to work. Okay, creation of appropriate skill set among the rural migrants, urban poor, make growth inclusive. Skill India launched in 2015 with around 1.04 crore Indians have been trained through central government and National Skill Development Council training center. We have to make sure that global competitiveness should be maintained. Okay, in enhancing global competitiveness of India manufacturing through like policy reviews and everything. Okay, then domestic value creation we have to do. Okay, we have to create more and more domestic technology so that we should not depend on the outside world for all these things, right? Then job creation is the main thing, because we have to create too many jobs so that we can absorb whatever the talent we are having in our own country. It should not remain unemployed, and it should not sit idle in the houses. Okay, so those people who apply in the job portal, they should get proper job as per their own specification. So increase the rate of job creation in a manufacturing to create around 100 million jobs, that is called 10 crore jobs by 2022. Okay, now, so building blocks of national manufacturing policies, where first of all is National Manufacturing and Investment Zone, NIMZ is there. Then identification of specific industries verticals are there, like what we have to decide, and how industry, which all things are required for the industry, what all thing we have to give a skill training. Okay, flexible exit mechanism should be there. Proper utilization of green technology should be there, which is a need of the hour. Then individual training and skill development program should be there, so that they should be industry ready, right? Then what is the issue with the ease of doing business? Why we cannot say that India is very good at business doing? Why Singapore and all these places are very good at doing business? Because they have a very important, like, you go there and I think in 5 to 10 days you can start your business. In 5 and 10 days you can start your business. But in India, if you come to our country here, we do not know how much time it takes. There is no time bound manner, there is no time bound things are there. Okay, first of all, India is having a little bit of unfriendly tax regime. Okay, too many taxes issues going on right now, this tax, that tax, and all these things. Then labor issues are always there. Land acquisition is also there, because whenever your company comes and there, so all of a sudden Tata Nano. Okay, Tata Nano factory has to shift it from Nandigram in Bengal. Now it has been set up in our Gujarat, right? Then lack of skilled labor force, demographic, because if we do not have a skilled labor force, which we called it as our we have a good young population, we call it, right? Right now we are the youngest nation of the world. We call it as a demographic dividend. Okay, so if you do not skilled these people, they will turn into demographic disaster also in the near future, right? So we have to make sure that they remain skilled. Okay, various administrative side issues are there right now. In the recently, like in yesterday newspaper, I was seeing that bullet train is being built between Ahmedabad and Mumbai, right? Ahmedabad and Mumbai bullet train with the help of with the help of Japan. So there was some income tax hurdle that is going on, because the people from the Japan who is working on this project have been given like some tax reform, like some tax rebate has been given to those people. So income tax people are creating problem to these Japanese people. So these kind of things should not happen in our country. Okay, and there is a deficiency in the PPP model for infrastructure. So these are the things which are the big issues for ease of doing business. So whenever any company comes to India, they look for the things and they say that, hey, it takes time, it takes 5-6 months, even we don't know what time it takes, how much bribe we have to pay. Sometimes say see, I'm not saying that, but people say, right, they have to give some kind of bribes and all those things. Sometimes it happens, but we don't know, right? Nice. So what government has done, what government measures, the government has taken various measures. So government has started with the Make in India campaign. FDI work has been easy. No, most of the things have become automatic, like you just come here, you have to inform that okay, I wanted to invest in this sector, you can come, you will get permission, everything, it will be automatic. Only in few sector you require too much of permission. Okay, then Invest India program is there. In the Gujarat, Gift City has been created. So to make that place as a, to make it a financial hub, like Dubai is a financial hub of UAE. In the same format, in the Gujarat we wanted to make a gift city, to make it as a financial hub. And that gift city has been totally like a very smart city that will be built up. Then we have to government has simplified too much of procedure. Government has also removed the wealth tax, reduced the corporation tax. E-business portal is there, where you can get 14 regulatory clearance at one place only. Just you have to upload the documents and you will get regulatory clearance online. Okay, so here you can see that you can starting a business, registering a property, dissemination, getting credit, trading across the borders, taxes, contracts, training. All these things has to be it has to be done in a very easy way, right? Now, government measure, bankruptcy law has been simplified. Dedicated court has been set up to for the earlier resolution of the commercial disputes. Okay, earlier resolution of the commercial disputes. Then industrial corridors are being built in our country. Different sectors of an economy are interdependent. Okay, so as you all know that various raw material are requiring for the manufacturing sector, then manufacturing sector, then service sector help they are taking. So many sectors are interdependent. Okay, so for effectively integration these between industry, infrastructure, for overall economic and social development, so we have created a very good amount of industrial corridor. The main reason is for a high speed transportation network. Okay, so for that, dedicated freight corridor we have built. Okay, under that dedicated freight corridor, the only the goods train will run, right? Then ports with the state of the art cargo handling facilities, modern airports, a speed economic region, industrial area, logistic parks, transshipment hubs have been created. Knowledge parks focused on catering to the industrial needs have been built up. Then complementary infrastructure such as township, real estate have been built up. Other infrastructure, urban infrastructure, and various important policy frameworks we have taken. So these are some of the industrial corridors that have been built up: Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore. Extension of Chennai, Bangalore to Kochi via Coimbatore, Amritsar, Kolkata, Hyderabad, Nagpur, Hyderabad, Warangal, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Mumbai. East Coast Economic Corridor, Vizag, Chennai Industrial Corridor, Odisha, Delhi, Nagpur Industrial Corridors. All these places are there. So from wherever this road will pass, so on the side of the road, the industrial corridor will be built up, right? So what are the other works that has been done? First of all, the government is encouraging the investment at every places. Government is bringing various type of legal reforms so that you should not just got trapped in the legal hurdle and all those things. Then we are also integrating the financial market, and single financial regulator should be there. And we are even doing labor reforms, and we are also simplifying the regulations that are earlier there, and we are bringing it to the minimum number possible that is possible. Okay, so this is 10 reforms that have changed the India. So this is, I've got a cutting from somewhere. Okay, so new industrial policy was there. Okay, where 18 PSUs have been transferred. Right now government is handling only 3 PSUs, and then monopolistic restrictive trade practices have been removed. Import licensing was abolished. India has joined WTO. Quantitative restriction on import has been removed, and now current account convertibility has been induced. Okay, SEBI has been established for share market. Insurance Regulatory Development Authority has been established. Pension fund regulatory authority has been set up. And all these things, GST Council has been set up. Government borrowing, domestic bond market has been created. Clearing Corporation of India also has been set up. Interest rate liberalization, so now interest rate depends on the market and everything, right? Basel Accord, Basel 1, Basel 2, Basel 3. Okay, our next lecture will be on, I think, Basel Accords we will be discussing. Then National Food Security Act and Manrega are the major scheme that government is running for food and jobs, food and jobs. Okay, then Aadhaar linkage of everything is going on, so that everybody should get get their benefit in their account number. Okay, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Ayushman Bharat, under Ayushman Bharat, 5 lakh rupees of insurance per household is giving. Ujjwala scheme, cylinder scheme is there. Okay, then insolvency and bankruptcy code is there, so they have been given time, like within this time you have to solve all these issues. Then monetary policy committee, which sets up the target of the inflation. Okay, so right now the target is of 4% plus minus 2% is there. Okay, so these are the 10 reforms that changed the India in the past few years, and we have already discussed all the basic things that have been shown. Okay, so guys, we have reached to our end of our lecture. Anybody has any doubts or anything, they can ask me right now. Anybody wanted to ask anything, guys? Anything you wanted to ask? Question? Anybody, guys, wanted to ask anything? I hope, guys, at least you have enjoyed the lecture, and you have also seen the quality of the lecture. Please let us know in the comment section once the lecture gets over, like how you have liked the session, what exactly, if you need any kind of improvement or anything, you can just let me know. Okay, by putting it in the comment box. Okay, and you can also tell us like what you have liked about this lecture and all those things. Okay, so guys, thank you so much. It's really nice to have you over here, and again we will be meeting on the next Monday. Okay, till then, never forget to like, subscribe and follow. Happy learning, guys, and please make sure that you follow all the COVID-19 protocols, because as you all know that the COVID has not gone, and still the cases have started rising, even it is doubling by the day. So make sure that you remain safe, because you need to give the examination. Until and unless you are safe, how you are going to give the examination, right? So please make sure yourself to be safe, sound and healthy, and if any issue is there, please let me know in the comment box. I'm always there to help you out in the way whatever possible I can do. Okay, guys, thank you so much, really, to have you over here. So bye bye, take care and good night.